Good morning, friends. Happy New Year. Let's have a sing together, shall we? What could be easier than starting out in Hungarian? Let's do it. Hymn number 1043. We sang this a little bit before the new year. 1043, and on the screen will be projected the phonetic pronunciation of the Hungarian. Coming up, coming up, coming up. There it is. Hal hit at szeretet, hal szeretet at béké, hal béké at áldás, hal áldás at este, hal esten at szükség nincsen. I know. Or anywhere close to that, you'll be good. Let's stand up. Let's try that again. Good. Hal hit ad szeretet, ad szeretet ad béké, ad béké ad áldás, ad áldás ad Isten, ad Isten ad szükség nincsen. All right, let's go to the English, shall we? Where there is faith, there is love. Where there is love, there is peace. Where there is peace, there is blessing. Where there is blessing, there is God. Where there is God, there is no need. Let's do that again. Where there is faith, there is love. Where there is love, there is peace. Where there is peace, there is blessing. Where there is blessing, there is God. Where there is God, there is no need. Can we go back to the Hungarian one more time? There we go. Hal hit ad szeretet, ad szeretet ad béké, ad béké ad áldás, ad áldás ad Isten, ad Isten ad szükség nincsen. It's great to sing with you this morning. Please have a seat.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Olympia UU congregation. Our community envisions an interconnected world that is loving, just, and healthy. We commit to live out our mission to welcome and wonder, embrace and empower, bridge and become. Thank you for joining us today. You are welcome here just as you are. Whatever beliefs sustain you, whomever you love, however you understand and express your identity, and in all the ways you are still becoming the person you will be. My name is Des McGarren. I use he, him pronouns, and I am a member of the Worship Arts team. Leading worship with me today is our minister, Reverend Mary Gear, and our music director, Troy Fisher. Here's a few things you should know about our service today. We are streaming live on Zoom and YouTube, and the service is being recorded. And no matter if you are participating virtually or you are here in the sanctuary, we have subtitles on the screen here, which can sometimes be creative in how they appear. Over here, we have fluffy chairs and activities for our hands so everyone can be comfortable. We are a multi-generational community, and we welcome the company of youth, kids, babies, teens, right here in the sanctuary. There is also nursery care and a storytime program for children in the classroom wing. We are grateful for the many hands that helped make worship happen this morning. Thank you to all who contribute in so many ways. After the service, everyone will have the chance to discuss reflection questions offered by Reverend Mary. For those online, we invite you to go into the breakout room for a virtual coffee chat. For those in person, please feel free to stay for coffee and fellowship in the Commons. At 11:30, after the coffee chat, you are invited to return to the main room or sanctuary for a forum on love with Reverend Mary and Reverend Sarah. Come join the discussion, what love means to you. There are many things happening at OUUC. Check out the Tuesday electronic update or the website for the most up-to-date information. Now let us open our hearts and minds as we prepare for worship. It is good to be together. This morning, we join Unitarian Universalist congregations around the world in lighting a chalice, the symbol of our faith tradition. If you are online and have a chalice or candle, please join me as we light them together with the words of Reverend Maureen Killoran. In these hard times, let us look first to the response of love. In the midst of challenge, may our chalice flame bear witness to the inherent worth and dignity of every human being. In the midst of uncertainty, may our chalice be a beacon of encouragement, that our values may guide our choices. Let us look first to the response of love.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Reverend Mary, and I use she, her pronouns. Our opening words for this morning are excerpted from To Invoke Love by the Reverend Sean Parker Dennison. To invoke love is to take the risk of inviting chaos to visit the spaces you spent so much time making tidy. To watch as the breath of life scatters everything you just folded and put away. To invoke love is to allow for the possibility that your words and actions might become so empowered you can no longer believe in apathy or the self-righteous idea that nothing can change. To invoke love is to give up self-deprecation, false humility, pride, to consider yourself worthy of being made whole, willing to encounter love that will never let us let each other go. To invoke love is to play the fool, the one more concerned with loving than with appearance or reputation, the one ready and willing to be vulnerable, abandoning anything that gets in love's way. To invoke love is to be ready to become love, here, now, in everything we do. Are you ready? Come, let us worship together.
And let's sing together again. Hymn number 1014. answering the call of love, I invite you to rise in body and or spirit, and let's sing this great hymn together. Thank you for singing.
As a child growing up in Ireland, I remember reading a cartoon caption in the newspaper that I later learned was poking fun at a popular novel at the time. The caption read, "Love means never having to say you're sorry." I must have been maybe 8 or 9 at the time, and I thought to myself, well, I suppose that's not for me. I'm always saying I'm sorry to the people I love. Like my mom and dad for the dozens of broken windows from kicking soccer balls against the side of the house, or for skipped or forgotten chores. Since that time, I've come to realize that I do not have to be quite so perfect in order to experience love. In fact, I've learned that love has very little to do with perfection. Love is all about relationships. Yes, deep, intimate relationships, but also relationships we experience with the people we encounter every day of our lives. As we know, we are all part of this interconnected web. When we communicate each day, we send out and receive messages, from a simple hello or good morning to a passerby, all the way to I love you to someone you care deeply about. I'd like to think I've evolved a bit over the past few decades. When I was first dating my wife, Martha, I remember being out with friends, and there was the moment where we were alone among the group, and I wanted to tell her I love her. But my own fear of vulnerability got the better of me as I blurted, I really like you. We chuckled nervously, but we both knew what I was really trying to say. We are all capable of love, whether giving or receiving. Showing sincere affection can come with a risk, or fear of rejection, or dismissal. I believe it is important in our daily lives to take that risk and to be just that little bit vulnerable. Greet that checkout person with a smile and ask them how their day is going. You may never know what it might mean to them. And as we go about our day, Can we extend ourselves just a little more and make that connection with those we interact with? That microcosm of love signals to them that they are present, that you see them and you care about them. Each Sunday, we engage in the spiritual practices of generosity and gratitude by joining together in service to our community and to something greater than ourselves. We each have the power to share, and when we combine our gifts to create an offering, together we are able to do more than any of us can do alone. We also express our gratitude for the gifts that life has given us, for the network of relationships in which we live, and for the presence of this community. If you are new or visiting for the first or second time, you are our welcome guest with no expectation to contribute. However, if you are moved, what you share will be most gratefully received. The offering collected here does two things. It helps support the ongoing work of our congregation, which is also supported by our regular pledges. This offering also supports an organization that serves our community in harmony with our Unitarian Universalist values. Our Share the Plate organization for January and February is the Medical Equipment Bank. The mission of the Medical Equipment Bank is to receive donated medical equipment and supplies and provide them to seniors, their families, and individuals with disabilities who cannot afford to purchase on their own. The Equipment Bank provides support and equipment to individuals as they move toward building physical and mental strength, independence, and overall well-being so they can remain in their homes. This organization is under the umbrella of the Thurston County Council on the Aging, also the publisher of the Senior News that provides over 18,000 publications a month to Thurston, Mason, and Lewis counties. The Medical Equipment Bank is completely supported by volunteers, donated equipment, supplies, grants, and cash donations. Donations are gratefully accepted as a way of paying it forward. May the offering now be generously given, and it is gratefully received.
It's been a long time coming that I had to say. When I wake up in the morning, all I do is pray for some guidance and protection on the street today, and an answer to the questions I ask every day. So tell me, why do the birds that used to fly here, tell me, why do they come to die here? And all the kids that used to run here, tell me, why do they load their guns here? I remember in the days when we were one heart, no need to defend. I just wrapped my arms around you. Don't give up, this song is for you. Hey, 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 no matter how life is today, there's just one thing that I got to say. I won't let another moment slip away now. I hold on, I'm trying to hold on. I hold on, hold on, hold on. From the tops of the buildings to the streets below, between the Wall Street banks and the empty homes, between the lines of the people standing all in a row, there's a crack in the gutter where the flowers grow, reminding me that everything is possible, yeah, reminding me that nothing is impossible. You gotta live for the one you love, you know. You gotta love for the life that you live, you know. Singing, hey, 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 no matter how life is today, there's just one thing that I got to say. I won't let another moment slip away. And I'll sing, hey, 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 no matter how life is today, there's just one thing that I've got to say. I won't let another moment slip away, and I'll hold on. I'm trying to hold on. I'm holding on. I'm trying to hold on. Until the morning comes again, I will remain with you, my friend. And we'll ride until the sun goes to the place where it begun. And we will live and laugh and cry another day. Don't let nobody ever tell you that it couldn't be done. Don't let nobody ever tell you that we couldn't be one. Don't let nobody ever tell you that he shouldn't be sung. Don't let nobody ever tell you you're the only one singing, hey, hey, hey. No matter how life is today, there's just one thing that I've got to say. I won't let another moment slip away. And I'll say, hey, hey, hey. No matter how life is today, there's just one thing that I've got to say. I won't let another moment slip away. Whoa, whoa, I hold on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, I hold on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm trying to hold on. I'm trying to hold on, hold on. And I say, hey, 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 no matter how life is today, there's just one thing that I've got to say. I won't let another moment slip away. And I'll say, hey, 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 no matter how life is today, there's just one thing that I've got to say. I won't let another moment slip away. I hold on. I'm trying to hold on. I hold on, hold on, hold on. I hold on.
We are blessed with an overflowing sanctuary today. How lovely is that? And so that we can welcome everyone in, if you have a chair near you, would you raise your hand and welcome folks to come in and sit near you? We got some chairs over here. Welcome and thank you for joining us this morning. And thank you for welcoming everyone. Thank you also for your generous gifts in all the ways that you share them. We came together this morning bringing all that is in our lives. So let's open our hearts to the complexity of life as we place stones in the water of community. You will hear a drumbeat as we share today. It brings into our awareness that our individual hearts beat, and together we create the heartbeat of our community. So right now, let's just all take a deep breath together. And one more jostling and moving around, and let's just breathe while that happens and everybody can settle. Thank you for making room for everyone at the table. So as we breathe, let's open our hearts to receive the complexity of all that is in our lives and community today. Fred Kellogg and Beatrice Awana Kellogg are happy to share that they plan a trip to Beatrice's homeland of Cameroon in mid-January. After many months of waiting, Beatrice got her traveling documents from the Embassy of Cameroon after considerable effort. Fred is very excited about his first trip to Africa and meeting Beatrice's family. Fred and Beatrice, we wish you safe travels and a speedy return. For those online, I invite you to share from your heart by entering in the chat. Those of us in the sanctuary can see your sharing on the screen. And for those on site today, I invite you to come forward if there's something you'd like to bring into this community. You may place a stone in the water as you hold your sharing in your heart. It will work best if you come up by the side aisle and return to seats by the center aisle. So let's hear the heartbeat and the sounds of our community as we reach out our hearts in love and care to all those who share this day. We'll place a stone in the water for all that has been shired from the heart online. And one more stone placed in the water for all that we hold in our hearts and that remains unspoken. Please be in whatever way is comfortable for you right in this moment. And in just a moment, I'm going to invite us to howl together. Wolves howl to communicate with each other, especially across long distances. They lift their noses to the sky and they howl because it helps the sound carry further. So let's send our howls to the sky that it may carry to all who join us near and far. And when the howling comes to an end, we'll be in silence together.
Let's remain seated and sing together hymn number 34, Though I May Speak with Bravest Fire. Though I may speak with bravest fire and have the gift to all inspire, and have not love, my
Our first reading is an excerpt from All About Love by Bell Hooks. Everywhere we learn that love is important, and yet we are bombarded by its failure. In the realm of the political, among the religious, in our families and in our romantic lives, we see little indication that love informs decisions, strengthens our understanding of community, or keeps us together. This bleak picture in no way alters the nature of our longing. We still hope that love will prevail. We still believe in love's promise.
It was a cool, rainy Thursday night at OUUC last fall. The days were getting shorter, and by the time of the community dinner at 5:30, it was dark outside. But that night, it was bright here in the Commons. The lights were on, the tables were set, the chairs were ready, and there were magnificent food smells wafting throughout the building. Volunteers had been helping Reverend Sarah prepare our dinner for several hours. People began to gather and fill their plates, meeting and greeting each other with hugs and handshakes, sitting together, sharing about their week and about their life, laughing and listening intently. I stood over here near the doors, watching this evening unfold, and my heart broke wide open. I thought, this is what love looks like. So a bit later, when Reverend Sarah nodded to me to offer the blessing for the meal, I talked about this experience of watching love unfold that evening in the Commons, and then I said, thank you so much for coming together and making love. Yep, for real. And as soon as those words came out of my mouth, I was stunned into silence, as of course the room erupted in laughter, right? And even as a minister in a progressive church that does our whole lives, our sexuality education program, I blushed a bright red, like the color of my shirt today. And I do believe I offered a blessing that evening, but I couldn't tell you what it was that I said. So I tell this story to highlight the complexity of this word that is our spiritual theme for the month of January, love. Have you beamed on that love is our theme for this month? Love is a word that has so many meanings. Making love can be a euphemism for sex. I love you said to a friend can mean affection. I'd love to see that movie expresses maybe longing and intention. I love that sweater might express admiration or even envy. I love you said to a partner can mean romance. I love you said to a family member or friend can express care and connection. It's a complex word. And then there is the greater love, that capital L love, that theologians and people of faith speak about, the love that is also called God, Spirit, the universe, the one. It's the love that was invoked in our opening words and answering the call of love that we sang to in our opening song. It's the agape love that the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke of as the foundation of the beloved community, the love of God operating in human hearts. Capital L love God is the love that Jesus spoke of and that his apostles wrote about. The phrase, the greatest of these is love, comes from the Christian Bible in Paul's first letter to the Corinthians, written in about 53 CE. Excuse me. In this letter, Paul wrote to a church that he had founded just a few years before in Greece. Corinth was a strategically located urban center with a very diverse population. And Paul was writing after hearing that the leaders of this new church in Corinth were quarreling, not only about which God they should worship, because there were many, but about what the message of the Christ was. Paul wrote about the foundation of this new Christian theology, naming the practices of faith and hope, and then he points to love. You may have heard this passage from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, which is often used in wedding ceremonies. Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. And that chapter ends with this. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. Paul's theological reflection to the Corinthians pointed out that love is a foundation of the church. So Paul instructs the Corinthians to understand the faith that they profess and become agents of God's love in the world. Prophets and sages and theologians have been writing for millennia about the importance of love. Yet, as Bell Hooks points out in our reading, we are bombarded by the failure to use love as a guiding light. In politics, in intimate relationships, in family life, and among religious people, we fail again and again to come from a place of love. That passage from 1 Corinthians that is used in wedding ceremonies can be distorted to suggest that love denies the very human feelings of anger and envy. Yet even as we fail at love, we continue to long and hope for a world where love will prevail, where love's promise will be made real. We continue to hope and believe that a world founded in love is possible. Psychologist Dr. Barbara Fredrickson defines the umbrella term of love as the preoccupying and strong desire for further connection, the powerful bonds people hold with a few, and the intimacy that grows between them, the commitments of loyalty and faithfulness. We humans are wired for connection, and so we are wired for love. And we have the capacity for great evil. They are both within us. And so every day, every moment, we are invited to choose. Do we allow ourselves to be seen and known as we authentically are? Do we deeply see and know others as they wish to be seen and known? Do we offer that connection that embodies trust, respect, kindness, and affection? Do we choose love? Because choosing love is a risky business. Love can be easily damaged by shame, blame, disrespect, mistrust, and betrayal. The opposite of love isn't hate. Hate can be as passionate as love, even more so, and it maintains a connection between the hater and that which is hated. The opposite of love is disconnection and apathy. The opposite of love is when we fail to see each other as human, worthy of love, our own love, and that capital L love that holds us all. When love is damaged, it can only survive when the damage is acknowledged and repaired, when connection is rebuilt and restored. Having a choice but means that love is a practice, a spiritual practice. Love has to be nurtured and grown, and there is a cost to love. We have to be willing to choose, to be vulnerable, and to fail. Love is a risky business. And like any practice, any spiritual practice, when we are at our best, we try love, we fail at love, and we learn the lessons of that failure so that we can try again and love even better.
Our second reading is adapted from the writing of the Reverend Dr. Michael Tino. For many years, Unitarian Universalists have noted that while it is the most often sung word in our hymnal, love was not present in the principles of our faith. Now we are being asked to imagine a faith that holds love at the center. We are being asked to imagine a faith that has, at the beginning of its covenant, this phrase: we draw from our heritages of freedom, reason, hope, and courage, building on the foundation of love. Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love.
Unitarian Universalist minister and musician Dan Schatz did a graphic using the words, all of the words that are in the UU hymn books, both of them. And this is what that graphic looks like. The size of the words in the graphic shows how often that word appears in our hymn lyrics. So a big word means that we sing it a lot. So there's a lot you can notice in this graphic. I kind of like that law is in the middle of the O on love. Life, one, come, and earth are big. God is also big, and sing is just a little bit bigger. And you can notice that the greatest of these is love. Now, it isn't very surprising that love is an important value in our Unitarian Universalist faith tradition. Both strands of our heritage, the Unitarians and the Universalists who joined together in 1961, both of them began as Christian denominations, following the teachings of a prophet who centered love and who taught his disciples to practice and preach love. UUs have been influenced by many traditions over the years: transcendentalism, humanism, Eastern religions, earth-centered traditions. And we now claim that we draw from many sources, and we do. And this thread of Christianity, the thread of love, has come through the ages. Do you remember those bracelets that say WWJD for What Would Jesus Do? It's almost as if we transformed that phrase from what would Jesus do to what would love do? For the past several years, Unitarian Universalists have been in the process of discerning how to articulate our values in this time. Those values and the purposes of our Association of UU Congregations are written in Article 2 of the Unitarian Universalist Association, the UUA bylaws. And so the Article 2 Commission, a group of religious professionals and congregants, has led this process of discernment. And after listening to thousands of Unitarian Universalists across the country, they identified 6 values at the core of our faith, with love at the center. This is the graphic from the Commission's report. And so this year at OUUC, we are exploring each of the core values as our monthly spiritual themes. In November and December, we explored generosity and transformation. In February, it will be justice. In March, equity. In April, interdependence. And in May, pluralism. This month, our spiritual theme is love. And one of the interesting things about the Article 2 Commission report is that it defines each of the 6 values that are around the outside. And we've shared some of those definitions in our worship services these last few months, and you'll hear them in the months to come. But the Commission didn't define love. I think the Commission left it up to us to define love and to decide how we will manifest love in this world. So in the after-service forum today at about 11:30, we'll gather in small groups on site and online to share our thoughts and feelings about love. I hope you'll join us. What the Commission did have to say about love is this: love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to each other for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. Now, there's a lot in those 2 sentences. Love is powerful. Love holds us together. Love is at the center. We are accountable to each other. We work to live our values. Love is a spiritual discipline. So what does all that mean in life and in practice? Well, I have 2 examples to share, one from an individual and one that is institutional and communal. The first example comes from television, really. So Drew Carey has been the host of The Price is Right game show since 2007, when he took over from Bob Barker. And over that time, we have experienced so much as a nation and as a world: wars, disasters, and a global pandemic. Carey says that over that time period, he started the practice of treating everyone he meets with love, as if they were already a friend. And then he thought that everyone could use some love, unconditional, genuine, and without judgment love. And so he ends every single show by saying, "I love you." At the end of this glitzy and loud game show that is all about consumerism and capitalism, Drew Carey looks at the camera and he says to his audience, "I love you," with genuine feeling. He centers love on TV. How countercultural is that? And the second example of centering love comes from our Unitarian Universalist faith and is called 30 Days of Love. For several years, the social justice part of the Unitarian Universalist Association, that justice arm, is called Side with Love. Side with Love has hosted 30 Days of Love at the beginning of the calendar year. It runs from Martin Luther King Day through Valentine's Day. We've put a link for more information in the order of service and in the chat for today. 30 Days of Love invites us to spiritual nourishment, political grounding, and the shared practices of faith and justice. Each week, nationally, Unitarian Universalists focus on a timely justice issue and then explore the spiritual grounding, political context, and justice work for that issue. So this year, the issues are decriminalization, climate justice, bodily autonomy, and democracy and electoral justice. Now, we know that the work of justice is a long haul, and that we won't maintain and sustain it if we are not spiritually grounded. 30 Days of Love is about grounding in our Unitarian Universalist values, refilling our spirits, and then going out into the world to practice love in a world that needs it so badly. 30 Days of Love is an example of a process of connecting the inner and the outer. We go inside to listen to our own experiences and our deepest held values, and then we share them with each other, and then we go out into the world. And we learn from those experiences, and then we return to the inside to digest the lessons, and then we try again. It's the practice of the internal and the external, inside and outside, discern, practice, learn, discern, practice, learn, and that symbol is the symbol of infinity. Whoops. We have an infinite capacity to learn, grow, and change. So that's what centering love looks like for Drew Carey and for the UUs who participate in the 30 Days of Love. I imagine that the spiritual discipline of centering love could look like so many different things and might change as we grow and change. The possibilities are infinite. The charge to us today is the same guidance that Paul gave to the Corinthians 2,000 years ago. Know your faith and your values, and go do the work of love in the world. Can you imagine what centering love would look like for you? Can you imagine what centering love would look like for this congregation? I would love to hear your ideas about how we might take the risk of love together. I have been thinking about this topic for some time and reimagining what centering love might look like for me. And so I want to close today by taking the example of Drew Carey. I love you. And thank you so much for coming together and making love. How about if we sing together, Troy?
Let's sing together, There Is a Love. I invite you to rise in body and our spirit. There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding all. I rest in this love. There is a love holding us.
We extinguish our chalice with the words of Rosemary Watola Tromer. I wish you the peace that comes when we trust ourselves to meet whatever life brings. I wish you the love beyond happy endings, the kind of love that seeps into everything, no matter where the story goes. Happy New Year. May you go in peace, go in joy, go in love.